it's just a fresh new concept of the whole private snatching. Their sexual reproduction organs is what ties their gender and sometimes their identity for men. The main lead was challenged with all this when his testicles were stolen from him and his manhood was taken away in a way, but he didn't seem to be entirely affected by this when he let his friend sleep with him and try out his new bottom. It interested me that both were willing to explore their sexuality, and men have a lot of pride, and this type of open mindedness explored in this film is really nice to see. It teaches you that it's okay to explore your sexuality and identity and take risks. Our main lead may have been going through every corner of town to find a thief, but he still let his friend's curiosity get to him and was mildly aroused by the concept of sleeping with him again, even when he was back to being a fully fledged male. The cinematography is the strongest part of the film, including the acting and the crisp sounds. I really like the use of the blue and the yellow, especially during the nighttime. It's very visual and gives me that lively Lady of the Night vibe.
I think your idea in terms of exploring your sexuality, your sense of identity, and I thought the conceit of of switching your bottom half and having the dynamic with his friend, I thought create a lot of interesting comedic and dramatic moments. Mostly comedic. I thought that the two characters had a really good sense of chemistry, and I thought they made the curiosity of the situation realistic, given the obviously fantasy style conceit of the setup. But I thought it really had a strong sort of symbolic and thematic idea about exploring yourself and sort of trying to see yourself in a different way that I thought was interesting and played out in a way that I felt had a good sense of self-awareness about the overall concept. So I thought it was well acted. I thought it had a really good sense of direction in terms of cinematography, a lot of intimate shots in the rooms, even up close with the actors. I thought there was a lot of good sense of rawness and natural sort of energy that worked well between those on screen. That really was helped by the framing of the overall film.
It's such a shock, but in the best way. And I think this film completely makes audiences think about ridiculous notions of labels and all the strange arguments that exist in the world that deny a person being whoever they are and from loving whoever they want to love. And I think it just does so, like, it creates this commentary so brilliantly with that exchange, and you don't even need any explanation for it because it's just such a thought-provoking choice that the filmmakers make. So I felt like it was a commentary on so many different levels, but not even thinking about that high level part of the film. For me, what I loved most about this film is that at its heart, it's really about friendship, trust, love, life without labels, and also this deep vulnerability. And so I think that this film is just so brilliantly done. The acting was incredible. The cinematography was beautiful. The commentary was sharp and smart.
It was so brilliant and such a fun way to bring this exploration of sexuality on to the screen. I am so shocked that nobody's ever done this before because it is so brilliant. I loved this, that it was a romantic comedy about sort of exploring your sexuality. And I feel like people who are more hesitant to accept this sort of film may find it more palatable this way, which I thought was very interesting. So yeah, I love that it explored the spectrum of sexuality and the fluidity of sexuality. The acting in this felt very honest and very real, which made the whole thing feel so much more realistic to me. I loved the fact that the concept behind this film, that people can just switch or steal another's genitalia. I love that it was played off as such a normal thing, as if it was as normal as just stealing someone's watch. I think that also helped for me to see this as feeling so realistic, because I think if this was possible in real life, this sort of thing would happen a lot, most likely.
I really enjoyed the opening of this film with the two young men roaring on their scooter down along the parkway of this beachfront of Puerto Rico. And the scenery is just gorgeous. The soundtrack was also catchy, and I like the way it transitioned into the nightclub underground. Very nice. And just when you think this is going to be a love story, two young men, it becomes a very bizarre and unique turn of events. It's a fantasy. The dialogue is sparing, which is kind of nice because it relies on the actors and the main actor and the physiological changes he goes under, and they react to that. And that's what you have to go by. It's very interesting and intriguing. It was a little bit humorous, yet serious in the way of how their situation affected their relationship.
Very interesting concept. One that I definitely did not see coming, where basically after a very intimate night, the guy finds out that his he basically had his penis stolen, which is already such an interesting premise, where it's just like, she just kind of just took it and left. I found it interesting how that dynamic of not having a penis kind of, it opened a new avenue and a new possibility for him, where he kind of just, he was exploring parts of himself that he had never considered before, and that was very interesting.
They have great casting and quite an alluring concept. The chemistry between the characters is so good. They do interact as true friends. You can sense this energy. I could be fooled for this. It's not a performance. They are really they look like true friends, and the naturality and exploring ways of exploiting the exchange, it's quite fantastic.